Well, guys, this is it. We're here. WandaVision is over, and wow, what a finale. Stuff went down. Just wow. Obviously, it wasn't like a perfect finale or anything, because it did feel a little rushed at parts, and there are still a couple questions that were never answered. But I think, for the most part, it was a good episode, and really the perfect way to wrap up WandaVision and this season or series long storyline. And a lot of people are disappointed though. Like, after I finished the episode, I went on Twitter, and so many people are disappointed that like their theories are wrong, because like, oh, Doctor Strange never showed up, there was no Mephisto, we never found out who the aerospace engineer was, Reed Richards didn't show up, it wasn't John Krasinski, there was no Luke Skywalker level cameo. And then of course, well, spoiler alert, you should already know that spoilers, but Ralph is actually just Mr. Boner. So, yeah. I mean, that one was kind of, I mean, it was funny at first, but now when you think about it, it's like, wow. And, you know, after, it's been a couple hours since I watched the episode, and after my hour-ish long nap, you know, really looking back at the episode, not really that much happened. I mean, for the most part, it was like, alright, there was a big battle, some stuff happened within that battle, but it was a big battle, and then they said goodbye, and then that was it. Then Wanda just went off, and that was pretty much the basics of what happened in the episode. So, in retrospect, not that much happened, and it wasn't that crazy of a thing, but it's the little details and the stuff in between that really made this episode. So, we are going to go ahead and break that stuff down. Guys, of course, let me know all your thoughts on this in the comments below. All your theories as to what happened, filling in the blanks of stuff that probably happened off screen. So, let's go ahead and let's get into this. So, we start off the episode right where we left off last episode with Wanda versus Agatha. But the twins are able to escape, and then we find out that Agatha is actually absorbing part of Wanda's power. And I do love how we had a little reference here where after Wanda threw a car on Agatha, it was just Agatha's feet sticking out, just like in The Wizard of Oz with the Wicked Witch. You know, that was a big reference there. So that was cool. But then Vision shows up, but this is White Vision. So he shows up, and unlike some of us were theorizing, he doesn't have the voice of James Spader. It's not Ultron or anything. But this White Vision is trying to kill Wanda. But then Color Vision shows up and saves her, luckily. So then we get a Vision versus Vision battle and a Wanda versus Agatha battle. So that's pretty cool. But meanwhile, we have Monica trapped with Pietro in his man cave. And yeah, this is where we got the big reveal about who Pietro is. Because it's not Peter or Quicksilver from the Fox X-Men movies. I didn't really think it was anyway. And it's not actually any version of Quicksilver. It's not even Nicholas Scratch. It's I was right about this with my theory video the other day, the final episode of Who Dat Devil, that he's just some random guy that was living in Westview. His name is Ralph, so this is Ralph. This is supposedly Agnes's husband, but not really, and it's Ralph Boner. So yeah, it is kind of sad that we were all getting hyped up for that, and then it turned out just to be an inappropriate joke. But you know, it was funny though, if we're being honest. And it turns out the necklace he was wearing was what was controlling him. So, I mean, yeah, it's disappointing that it didn't turn out to be more, but it was still a cool reference to have Evan Peters in the role as fake Pietro. But anyway, let's get back to the main battle. So anyway, Monica was able to escape from Ralph's man cave. But Sword has captured Jimmy, and Jimmy calls Cliff, which I'm going to assume is the aerospace engineer. I'm not completely sure here, because I honestly don't even know. But then we continue on with Agatha, who basically actually confirms that the book is the Darkhold. It's something we were theorizing about in episode 7 when it was revealed in her little cave that there was that book, and that is the Darkhold, and that book is going to tie into so many things in the future of the MCU. I did a whole video on it. You can check that out. It's in my WandaVision playlist, so you can definitely check that out. I definitely recommend that. But then she also reveals that the destiny of Wanda, or the prophecy that says she's going to become the Scarlet Witch, also says that the Scarlet Witch will destroy the world. So that's what I'm assuming is going to cause Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And I'll get into that more later when we talk about the post-credit scene. So this is where we get a pretty interesting moment, which is something we kind of expected, because Agatha releases everyone from the sitcom spell. And so everyone confronts Wanda, and they're like, let us free, let us go home and everything. So Wanda decides, why am I holding all these people hostage? And then she just lets them all free. And she opens up the hex and releases everyone. But then this is where things start to go bad, because first of all, Sword invades, stupid Sword. And then also both the twins and Vision are now dying, just like Vision was when he escaped from Westview the first time. They're like cracking and falling apart and everything, because they are tied to Westview. They were created there and they can't leave. So obviously Wanda closes it back up, because she has to make the choice. It's Westview or her family. And of course she chooses her family. I mean, it is a selfish choice, but still, obviously in the end she makes the right choice. So White Vision's programming is to destroy the Vision. But this Westview Vision isn't actually the real one. This isn't the real Vision. So Color Vision, that's just what I'm going to call him, restores White Vision's memories. And this is where we kind of find out that the White Vision is actually the real Vision, kind of. But then White Vision flies off, and then we never see him again. And then we just see in the next scene, it's Color Vision with the rest of the family in Westview. So this is what I was confused about, because they never explain what happened to White Vision. He kind of just flies off. So, I mean, we're not going to have Color Vision anymore, but I'm assuming we will have White Vision going forward in the MCU. The only question is, where is he going to pop up next? I'll probably make another video on that later in the week. But that was just confusing that they never really explained that. But then we have Hayward going full crazy mode, trying to shoot the twins. Like, bro, are you insane? I mean, yes, he is. Like, he literally pulled out a gun and started shooting at the kids. But luckily, Monica jumps in and saves them. And I love how, she turns full pure energy, and she's able to stop the bullets. So that was really cool. And then Wanda, I think this was a really cool callback to Avengers Age of Ultron, where she does the thing she did to the Avengers in that movie, where she did her full nightmares and wiggly woos thing, and she does that to Agatha. And then we're all of a sudden back in Salem, where all of those witches that Agatha basically killed, now they're all like zombie witches, and they're walking around and everything, and they start chanting like, Wanda, you're the Scarlet Witch and everything. And then Wanda's crown starts to form, just like how Agatha's mother's crown started to form when she was fighting Agatha in the flashback last episode. So that was really cool. But then we flash back to present day, and we have this really epic cloud battle. So cool to see. And Wanda gives up her powers to Agatha, and it was really interesting. I was like, what is happening here? But then we found out that Wanda actually cast the runes on the hex. So even though she didn't know how to do that or any spells, she learned from Agatha. So this is also like a learning experience for her. So then she absorbs Agatha's powers, and now she has her crown, she has her suit, and she is the Scarlet Witch. And she looks so good. I love this suit. We kind of saw what it looked like before, but wow, it was just so cool. I love the way this looks. But now Agatha is defeated. We're only like halfway through the episode, and it's like, what are we going to do the rest of the episode? And I like how they handled Agatha, because usually in the MCU they just straight up kill off the villains. And I was like, great. Now we can never see that character again. But Wanda decides to actually trap Agatha as Agnes, the nosy neighbor, inside of Westview. And Agatha says that, oh, you're going to need me because you don't know what you've done, what you've unleashed. So maybe this whole event has started a domino effect to create whatever happens to break open the multiverse. And maybe Wanda is going to need the help of Agatha. But the thing is, though, she is trapped in Westview. And at the end of the episode, Westview is destroyed. So wouldn't that mean that she's destroyed as well? But then, post-credit scene, maybe they're alive. So, I don't know. Again, we'll talk about that more later. So then the whole family, they just head home as Westview is starting to be restored. The barrier is starting to go down. And they say goodnight to the twins, but it's really goodbye. And wow, that was just such the perfect way to do this. Such the perfect way to say goodbye to the twins because, you know, they're kids. You're not just going to say like, hey, you're about to die. So I love that moment. And then she has to say goodbye to Vision as well. And they have this really cool moment here that I really love. And she says like, Vision is her love, and he actually sheds a tear. That was so beautiful because he's a robot, so he's not supposed to do that, but he sheds a tear, and that was just so beautiful. And then he says, we'll say hello again. And wow, I'm hoping they do. Hopefully we do see them say hello again, because I love Vision, but this is the 4th time that he's died in the MCU. So now Westview is gone, the twins are gone, Vision is gone, but we still have White Vision out there somewhere. We have no idea where he flew off to. Would have been cool if that was another post-credit scene. But now Wanda is alone, back in that plot, and it's over. Everyone in Westview completely hates her for everything that she did, but Monica says like she would have done the same thing, so then they say goodbye. And then Wanda flies away because, of course, Sword is coming after her. And I love how she was wearing a hood, too, along with her cape. It was kind of like a cloak. So that was a cool alternate Scarlet Witch look for her as well. But that is where the episode ends. And I think that was a great way to end the series. A perfect way, showing her in that final scene just going off in the hood on the run. Kind of similar to where we started off right after Endgame, was that she was on the run. So then we get into the mid and post-credit scene. And both of these are set up for future movies. Movies, which I must say, are over a year away, which is kind of sad. But, so the mid-credit scene shows Monica being confronted by a Skrull that says an old friend of her mother's would like to meet her in space. So I'm going to assume that this is probably Nick Fury. That's what makes most sense, because we saw in the post-credit scene for Far From Home that Nick Fury is up in space. Probably, well, we're not completely sure if that is Sword now, because the Sword on Earth is kind of looking like a villain. So I don't know, but this is clearly set up for Captain Marvel 2. We know Monica Rambeau is going to be in Captain Marvel 2, so there's the setup for that, and that's pretty cool and everything. But the post-credit scene is where we really get into things, because we see where Wanda went. So we don't know exactly where it is, but it's somewhere out in the mountains, completely isolated, and she has her own home here, and it's a very witchy looking home. Like, it looks very old style here. And then we find out that she's not actually inside her body. She's actually doing the whole astral plane thing that Doctor Strange was doing in Doctor Strange, and she is reading the Darkhold, and she is learning all of these spells and basically learning how to be the Scarlet Witch. And then the final part of this scene, of this post-credit scene, is we see Wanda there in her full Scarlet Witch look, doing like the cross-legged thing, reading the Darkhold, and then just zooms in on her face when we hear the voices of Tommy and Billy calling out for help. So this is, I think, what will cause Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I'm thinking that maybe Wanda is going to do her best and try her best to save the kids. But in that process, because she's using the Darkhold, which is a very powerful book, something's going to go wrong, and it's going to break open and crack open the multiverse. But most likely she's going to be able to get Billy and Tommy out of there, because we know they're going to go on to join the Young Avengers. But that also gives me hope that if she's able to get them out of the Darkhold, which is maybe where they're actually trapped now or something, that hopefully she would also be able to get out Vision, Color Vision, or maybe she'll just end up with White Vision, because who knows what happened with him. And then there's also Agatha, who hopefully will have some sort of appearance in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, because maybe Wanda really will need her help. So I think this is great setup for Doctor Strange 2. Definitely not what I was expecting it to be, but I think it was great setup. And again, it's sad that we have to wait a whole year to watch the movie, but at least we have stuff to look forward to. So, guys, WandaVision is over. This is it. I mean, it's going to be sad not waking up every Friday at 6 a.m. at 2 a.m. to actually know. I'm going to love that, because I like my sleep, but I only get 1 week off because then we start up with the Falcon the Winter Soldier and then I'm back to losing sleep again. But, oh well, because it's fun. I had a great time coming up with all these theories and stuff, even though most of them ended up being wrong. I had a great time talking about this show with you. So, guys, it was great, but of course, like I said before, let me know all your thoughts on this in the comments below, all your theories of these post-credit scenes. What did you think happened to White Vision, and all that good stuff. So, WandaVision is over, but we got Falcon the Winter Soldier in a couple weeks here, so stay tuned for that. But for now, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so I can keep up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.